Happy hump day for everybody out there. Hopefully everybody's having a great hump day. Just wanted to, this is a little bit of a trial for me, the walking and the talking at the same time. On May 19th, I suffered a heart attack and had 5 heart stents put in. And contrary to popular belief, the recovery from that is not sit around and recover, but rather push your body a bit and see how things go. It's pause for a second, so bear with me here. Apparently you can't edit settings on the go. And then when you're walking and doing one of these things, you're also dealing with people doing their lawn maintenance, so might not be able to hear me that well. But I just want to get some of this out there and just talk. See how the body adjusts to going on a walk and talking at the same time. So I guess first and foremost is, there's a lot of talk about the Halloween TV series. There's also talk about what is happening with Crystal Lake and frankly the tragic circumstances that Friday the 13th is forced to endure. The fans of that franchise deserve so much better. Say what you want about recent Halloween entries. At least as Halloween fans, we got 3 new movies. Whether you like them or not is up to you. But at least we had them. Looks like a nice day. It's humid as shit, man. It's feeling like 37 right now where I am. I don't know what that converts into your temperature. But yeah. Storm's coming though, for sure. It's about 100% chance of storm today, so getting out for my walk now. So there's a little bit of, I got a couple of bullshit messages this morning. I was playing with my kids, and people were like, oh, hey, Barry from Wolfman got nards, threw you under the bus and exposed you. And it's like, why am I dealing with this? And then they said some really nasty things about the heart attack and life and shit like that. And we had that in Minnesota yesterday. Minnesota, interesting. I feel like you told me before you were from there, but honestly, it's just hard to remember, man. Anyhow, so yeah, people trying to start drama. I went and watched Barry's video. He never once mentions Fandom Empire. He mentions something that an Instagram account puts out there, and it doesn't line up with our report from the other day. So, I don't think he was passive-aggressively referring to us either. And hey, we're still really early in the process. Even when we report on something, I think, we don't have a perfect track record while reporting on Halloween news, but we have a pretty damn good one. And I think even this early in the process, and make no mistake, it is still very early in the process, take anything you hear from anybody with a massive grain of salt, including us. So, hi, where are you from? Canada. Certainly doesn't feel like it today, though. Ontario, Canada. I'll give you that much. I won't give you any more. Middle of nowhere, as you might be able to tell. Nothing but green in this area. But anyways, the Halloween TV series. I want to just take a moment and recap some of what Dean and I talked about the other night. And we have more videos coming. It's not like we revealed all the information that we have come by. We believe it, okay? Just to set the record straight, we believe it, or we wouldn't be talking about it. Not in the way that we did. Very fortunate to have, a few friends connected in a few different ways that share information. And I know people will be like, oh, who's your source? But you don't want to get anyone fired, whatever. Believe what you want to believe. That's your choice. But the Halloween TV series, in principle, the number one way that I think you can brush up on what's happening, other than following this channel, would be to go out and either buy Taking Shape 2 on Audible, by Harker Press, Dustin McNeil, Travis Mullins, fantastic guys. Really appreciate the time that Dustin dedicates to this channel to come on here. He's a good dude. He's a really good dude, and he's been supporting this channel for years. So, from what we know, it starts with this, and we've been reporting this one for months. On some level, we believe Steph Hutchinson's involved in this project. Steph Hutchinson, if you don't know, is the man that did the 25 Years of Terror documentary. He also did Halloween Night Dance, First Death of Laurie Strode. Obviously, the third part of that never did come out. Dustin talked about it a little bit on our channel. He wants fans to lobby for it to come out because it's a story that he thinks everybody should hear. But yes, on some level, we don't know the level, but we believe Steph Hutchinson's involved in this project. And it makes sense because Steph Hutchinson is very close with Malaka Cad and works with them on several projects, not just Halloween ones. So that's kind of like a no-brainer. Some people might be like, you're doing head math. Yeah, part of it is head math, but part of it is, no, we heard he's directly involved in what's going on. I don't think he's qualified to be the showrunner, although I would take a chance on him. And we've been talking about that one for months. But the reason I bring up Taking Shape 2, obviously some of Steph's work is covered in there. But the number one reason I bring up Taking Shape 2, I will have to stop at times, by the way, recovering from a heart attack. It's easy to run out of breath. It's hot as shit. 280-pound man going for a walk. Water's your best friend. Nitroglycerin spray in the bag if needed. Hopefully not, though. That shit gives you a mad headache real quick. But the number one reason we want people to look at Taking Shape 2 is because we were told the DNA of the Halloween TV series that's coming. Now, it doesn't mean it's a carbon copy of this, but very much the inspiration of the Halloween TV series is Halloween Returns. Now, a lot of people put up Halloween Returns against Halloween 18 in terms of story. A lot of people also get the story wrong in terms of what Halloween Returns is and why it didn't happen. A lot of people love to cling to the idea that the Acads decided that they're not going to go forward with Halloween Returns and they're going to move in a different direction. That's not what happened. So definitely get Taking Shape 2. I don't want to give everything away. Dustin and Travis wrote 2 books that I consider to be, the Bibles of Halloween. If you're a Halloween fan, I will check the comments in a second here, guys. If you're a Halloween fan and you don't own these novels or you don't have them on Audible, I don't know what you're doing, because you won't find richer Halloween material than what's covered in those books. Not from any YouTube channel, us included. They're just a labor of love. And the ones the size of a telephone book, so if you really get mad at someone, you can smoke them with it. Not that I would encourage that. Although, I think my spouse is reaching the point where she wouldn't mind smoking me with one. So that's what happens when you're home for a month after a heart attack. Anyways, from what we understand, Halloween Returns is very much the basis of what they're deciding to do with the TV series. Halloween Returns did not get made. Oh, great, just spilled water over myself. Halloween Returns didn't get made because a rights issue lapsed. That is the number one reason it didn't get made. For all the nitty-gritty details, please dive into Taking Shape 2. It's worth your money. And by the way, don't feel obligated to send in super chats or anything like that today. If you do, great. Hey, the channel needs all the support it can get. But I will try to answer everybody's questions and or comments as I go on this walk here. But Halloween Returns didn't happen because a rights issue lapsed. They were going forward with that project. They wanted to make that project. So it makes sense now that the David Gordon Green trilogy has passed that they would revisit what they were doing there. To my understanding, not only can they not do a carbon copy of what that story was, they also don't want it to be a carbon copy, which makes sense because, I mean, everybody has, not only can you read or listen to it in Taking Shape 2, you know, there's multiple scripts to that movie readily available online. And I think they'd like some of it to be a surprise. But when you look at what Halloween Returns was, a bit of a focus on some connected surviving characters while introducing new characters. Obviously, there's the caveat of involving Charlie Bowles a little bit in that story, which people have clamored for years. I think that would be a really good idea. I like the Russellville idea as well. Dean and I have spoken at length on the show about how we think that in order to do a successful Halloween TV series, you need to create new, interesting characters. Some of you might want to just see Michael Myers go and make cannon fodder out of a bunch of unknown characters, but like in reality, we got that with unknown characters and known characters in Halloween Kills. Let's not repeat the same thing we've already done. Let's do something a little bit different. And I think when you're trying to create new, interesting characters in a franchise where people are just so stuck in the past, not that Halloween's the only one, it's a lot of franchises. Nostalgia is the number one place they attempt to go with a lot of these things. Doesn't matter if it's Halloween, Friday the 13th, and I'll get to that talk. That's something that we need to talk about because, wow, what a huge missed opportunity for them. You know, it's hard to create new, interesting characters. And I wonder if I can flip that without me actually rotating my camera. There we go. It's hard to create new, interesting characters without it getting, you know, a little... Should we walk through here? I don't know. Let's do it. We're in bear and coyote country, and believe me when I say I'm not in any health to outrun any of those things at the moment. Hopefully the connection holds out too. That's another thing here. But anyways, Halloween Returns seems like it's the DNA of the Halloween TV series. I think the one major difference is, by the way, I've also heard absolutely nothing about Laurie Strode being involved in this. She very well could be. I would kind of sigh at that. It's definitely not what I want, you know. But the one character that seemingly keeps getting brought up with the people that we've talked to is Dr. Loomis. And I totally understand the fear of recasting. Didn't go well with Malcolm McDowell, even though I think his role in H2 is quite fucking funny. Cue the Friday the 13th music. Don't do that to me, Flicks. Let me tell you, I ain't outrunning Jason right now. You know, a month and a half ago, maybe. Not right now. You can probably tell. Already short of breath. But, anyway. Yeah, so, like, Halloween Returns. If you like that story and the path they took, then you're probably going to like this one. I wish I could sit here and say that it's going to take place in 1978, 1979, 1980. We don't know. I have no idea. But it's expensive to do things like that. If you're going to set potentially a multi-season TV series set back in 1980, then no, that is not my bus. Lovely driving restrictions post-heart attack. If you're going to set a Halloween TV series back in 1980, 1978, whenever. By the way, what's everyone's thoughts here? Everyone that is watching, are you okay with a Halloween TV series based off the general premise of Halloween Returns? Let me know in the comments section. And if you're not, where do you want them to go with the TV series? Because it is happening. That much is a guarantee. Oh, I think I'm going to walk back through there. It's the quicker way back home. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. With the Dr. Loomis stuff, I think they should just go ahead and recast him. But that doesn't mean they should cast any Tom, Dick, and Harry. You need an actor with gravitas, presence, someone who can help carry a series, whether he's a lead, a co-lead, a supporting character. You know, we've never really truly followed Dr. Loomis after the events of Halloween 1978 from his perspective. We see him get ushered out of town pretty quickly in Halloween 2, and then the focus turns to the hospital, and Loomis is kind of like a secondary thought. But, you know, I think having him be obsessed with Michael and going on a hunt, whether it's the same year or not. Also, the other thing that's on the table here, and it's something Steph Hutchinson's done before, is you can always, it's fucking hot out here, people. You can always move the Halloween story into a more modern time rather than it be a period piece. People might say, oh, well, Rob Zombie already did that. He didn't. It's a radically different story. It really is at the end of the day. Radically different take on the character and the backstory. I'm talking similar events to the original movie, modernized, probably saves them money. Don't be surprised if they go that route. Personally, I hope they find some small town, kind of like the one I live in the middle of nowhere, and do something based off that. Do a period piece. Raise the production value. We'll see what happens. But that's a lot of, or at least a portion of what we know. Halloween Returns seems to be the direction that it's going. And if we're wrong, we're wrong. But I don't believe that we are. And I know there's people being like, oh, well, I can't wait to get this Halloween TV series next year. I'd be stunned if it's next year. As far as I know, they won't get to film this thing till around this time next year, if not even later. So, to me, that screams 2026 release, not 2025. And if there's a bunch of hiccups, you're not even going to get 2026. Crystal Lake fans, let's move on here. Friday the 13th fans, because we don't know if Crystal Lake's ever going to happen. I think The Wrap came out with a report yesterday on details surrounding the series, that the budget had ballooned up to $80 million for season 1, which, hey, I wanted to see Brian Fuller's take on Friday the 13th. But at the same time, $80 million is a lot of money for 8 episodes. It's the other thing that was revealed. 8 episodes, season 1. They were pursuing Charlize Theron, who would have been a huge get for them. Definitely didn't think they were going anyone that big, and she would have taken up a good chunk of the budget to play Pamela Voorhees. And essentially, the first 4 movies were going to be retold, not remade, but retold, not with the same outcomes and stuff, over the course of 4 or 5 seasons of the TV series. Now, I get why people would have put their hands up and been like, hey, $80 million for a season of TV, Friday the 13th. That doesn't work. I would also be curious to go back and look at what the budget was for all the Friday the 13th movies combined and see if it's, and this does not include marketing, and see if it's more than the $80 million. Because it might be, but it might not be. Look, Brian Fuller likes to reinvent the wheel. If you've seen his Hannibal series, you know it's much different than the movies. I loved it because it was high quality. He doesn't do anything, half-assed, which if you watch Disney Star Wars, you're probably used to half-ass. And hey, some people only want the campy Friday the 13th back. And if that's what you want, great, I get it. But that's not what I want. We've already fucking seen that. If I want just the campy Friday the 13th, I'll plug in one of the Blu-rays, pop it in and watch it. This was going to be far deeper storytelling, like Dean and I talked about, with a far different tone, probably closer to the tone of the 2009 remake with Jared Padalecki. And I can't remember, is it Derek Mears? Is that who played Voorhees in that movie? It's hot out here and my body's saying, Sean, go home before you fall down. It's heartbreaking because now they're looking at, I think it's Nick Anacostka or something like that, who has had some past relationships with NBC Universal and A24. The report that the Wrap run yesterday was that studio executives were getting in the way from making the series properly. And I can tell you right now, Brian Fuller's not the type of guy who's going to sit there and have some suit tell him how he has to do this or that without him flying off the handle. So I have no doubt that he probably flew off the handle, which probably didn't help things. As a guy that has flown off the handle himself, probably more than he's supposed to have. I get it. But I don't know how anyone reads what that series was supposed to be and goes, oh, I didn't want that. You didn't want to, and I know people don't like using this word, but you didn't want a elevated Friday the 13th series to put the franchise back in the spotlight in a far healthier light. I'm not saying the series was going to profit. When you get to that kind of money, really hard to turn a profit, especially with TV. Whatever it was going to be. It's not like it was going to be Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon or anything like that. By the way, if you're watching this, please take a moment to click the like button. I think I've seen like 25 different people come in here on this walk. It takes 2 or 3 seconds to click that like button and help out the channel. Otherwise, I'm not sure why you're here. Fighting the YouTube algorithm isn't easy, especially when you haven't been able to keep up with consistent content. But yeah, what's everyone's thoughts on the Friday the 13th mess? And whatever they end up doing now, it's probably not going to be what Brian Fuller intended to do. And for me, that's a little heartbreaking. I think seeing something with Brian Fuller would have been amazing. And from what I understand, Halloween already has their showrunner. I don't know who that is. So, kudos to them. But if for whatever reason they don't, I would seriously go knock on Brian Fuller's door and say, do you have anything you want to pitch us? Because we'd be willing to start over from point zero, depending on what it is. He's that good of a creative. In terms of content, tonight in Haddonfield is going to continue. Monday nights. For the next little while, it'll be 8 p.m. because we're doing a House of the Dragon review series on the channel. Tuesday nights, we're going to continue with the Acolyte reviews, despite the half-assed production they keep putting on. And you're going to see more short-form content to those start to go on the channel. Shorter videos. I've been asked multiple times to start time-stamping our videos. I'm only one guy who's recovering from a heart attack, and as much as the other guys help out, Dean's priority is the Legacy Halloween group, same with a lot of the others. They do a fantastic job attempting to, control what they can in a group full of 300,000 people. I see all of nobody else like this stream. It's a little disheartening, but it is what it is. Nobody can force you to click the like button. But yeah, more short form content, 5 to 10 minute videos. They're a little easier to put out. And I'm starting to try to get the hang of like the YouTube shorts and stuff. So we'll do that. It won't just be news or rumor stuff. We'll do some fun fandom stuff. The Star Wars content, though, is going to slowly move off the channel after the Acolyte and move over to its own channel. And then we have another channel coming that I can't really say much about. But if you like what Fandom Empire's done over the years, but more, not just more, but only short form content, then you might want to look out for that. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for coming on this walk. Not dead yet. There's some progress. And I'll take a look at who commented and get back to you in a bit.